Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here. Got a really neat vintage old trumpet. This is an Olds Studio. I've tried to get my hands on one of these for years. Very unique wrap. A lot of people think that the shepherd's crook on the cornet gives a little darker tone because that extra bend they feel. Well, you've got an extra bend here as well, and it definitely gives it a dark, kind of a breathy tone, to be honest with you. Okay, lots more to say about this cornet, and I've also got an Olds Recording, an Olds Special, and an Olds Super Cornet that I'll be pulling out before long, giving you this opportunity to compare their sound, but it's primarily the studio's day. I'm going to play The Look of Love, and this is from about 54, could be 53, near as I can tell. So they're probably in the process getting ready to leave the old LA place, but it does say made in Los Angeles. And it also has the larger, it requires the larger backbore mouthpiece, which came with the trumpet, of all things, and the case. Bought it from the original owner, who only played it a couple of years and set it aside. More to come later, but we'll try The Look of Love to give you an idea just what a nice tone this cornet has. I could go on, and probably should. But one thing I've always thought about this that was neat was mostly a brass bell. And the only area on this horn that really shows wear badly is right near the crook here. Everything else, of course, the original lacquer is long, long gone. But everything else is just about dent-free. The bell is in very good condition. The fella told me that his parents bought it for him probably the tail end of elementary school, going into middle school. He played it 2 or 3 years and then, in his words, discovered athletics. Put it in a case, left it upstairs for about 40 years. And when I got it, every valve was stuck. And you just don't want to force these things. Every slide was stuck. And so what I did, thank God the valve caps were loose, I just undid the valve caps, poured a little bit of valve oil around there, let it sit for a while, and then went back, and fortunately all of the valves were moving well. I also put in some from the top, just try and work that. The slides, what did I do with the slides? I've got a tiny little leather hammer. I feel like an elf in Santa's workshop when I went by. And you just tap and tap and tap with that. Try and get some oil through the horn. Oh, the mouthpiece was stuck as well. I've got a little mouthpiece puller. Everything on this horn. And just a few days ago, I finally got the main tuning slide. Everything pulls very nicely now. Now, one interesting thing about these horns, it's the same thing with the Olds Super. They put a lyre holder here in case you're marching or need something to hold just a little tiny sheet music. If they would have just put it back here and given you an extended pull, then you would have access to intonation with a third slide pull. I'd seen this with Olds Super and finally looked around till I find somebody that had taken that lyre piece and put it on the end of the third slide and got a large pull here, probably from a baritone or something like that. And anyway, the Super that I got, which came from Syntex Brass, Clay, thank you very much, and I'll put a link to them down below. But a good tech should be able to move this lyre holder here, get you a screw set up for it, and then also a nice size pull, so you'd have some intonation opportunities. Besides the wrap, and all four of these Olds cornets have a different wrap. That's a different way of moving through the horn. Very few of them have this, although I think Kahn, maybe Holton had some things like this. The other thing that I like about it is it's brass, except you've got nickel silver here at the bell flare. And nickel silver gives you a little bite, a little grit, a little cutting power. And I've always thought that was nice. One of my favorite cornets is an Olds Special that has the heavy nickel silver solid, nickel silver bell, and then the bronze tip. And I think this gets a very unique sound as well. Now, it's not always the easiest to get these large back bore mouthpieces, and if you get a common cornet mouthpiece, it just doesn't fit right. It just goes way too far in, and it still isn't solid there at all. But if you've got a Bach Flugel mouthpiece, they will fit, and the sound is not bad at all. This is a Reeves, and we'll show you what that sounds like. Obviously going to be a little darker sound than the cornet mouthpiece. We'll show you what that sounds like. This is one of my favorite Flugel mouthpieces, and it is not very deep. It's probably the shallowest that Reeves makes. I've got another Bach mouthpiece. It's a Marcinkiewiscz, and it also got the Bach back bore, a little deeper, and again, just a variety of tones that you can get. This should be a little deeper yet. I like that. Just a couple of things to mention. I've got a new microphone. It's a Shure KSM32. Oh, I think new, they're probably about 775, 800, something like that. Supposed to be a little clearer sound, and well, I've been listening to it and working and earballing it with some friends. I think it gives a little more distinction from horn to horn, mouthpiece to mouthpiece, hopefully. Now, I'm going to go back to that original mouthpiece. Oh, I was going to say, any items that I've got for sale. Not selling my mic. Any items that I've got for sale. First line down there, there'll be a link to trumpetherald.com. Fantastic forum. Wonderful opportunity to learn, grow, and share experiences and knowledge about trumpets. And a good place to sell as well. I'm nearing, what is this? This is February 3rd. I'm nearing 5,000 followers. For all of you that follow, thank you so much. If you'd like to subscribe, you might be able to push me over the 5,000 barrier. Doesn't mean a lot to me, but maybe you could tell your parents or your children or your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe they need to follow me just to get me over that 5,000 barrier. If you have a pet that has a YouTube channel, sign them up. Sorry, just a little humor. Okay, going to play this again with the Olds 3C mouthpiece, and then I'm going to move right to the Olds Recording, Olds Special, and the Olds Super. Just to remind you what it sounds like with that Olds mouthpiece, and then we'll go straight to the recording. And when you go below, I'll have all of these earmarked. You'll have to hit the more indicator below. You get to the bottom of the page, you can just go from playing piece to playing piece, listen right away. You'll perhaps be surprised, depending on how good your speakers or headphones are, just what a distinction there is in sound. This is the studio. Really a nice, darkish, breathy sound. Closest of these four to that, I think, is the fantastic Olds Recording Cornet. To my way of thinking, as good, if you like a good cornet sound, as any cornet available today. And I'm playing this again with an Olds mouthpiece as well. It's an Olds, but it's a different size mouthpiece. And I've got 3 of these Olds 3s, and they are all completely different. Even a lot of the new Bach mouthpieces, same iteration, same printing. It's amazing how every mouthpiece can differ. Okay, one of my old favorites, it's the Olds Special. When I was making a comeback, this was the first horn that I got, and really have always loved the sound of this. Olds made such a great horn. I like Strads. Strads are what I play, Bach Stradivarius. Trumpets most all the time. But the intonation of an Olds is better than a Strad. They really had a great product. Very neat horn here. If you've got vintage horns, of course I mentioned this has the 3rd slide pull, which I lean on more than the 1st. The Super was made with just the 1st slide pull. But my Super and my recording, I can take the 1st slide and put it, fits perfectly in the recording, slightly different angle. And then I have a 1st slide intonation device for the recording if I put it in there. It did come, most Supers only come with the 1st slide pull. Neat little horn. A little trumpety in sound, but a very fun horn to play. Every now and then I get a craving just to play my Super Cornet. Just love these old horns. Old Olds. And again, we'll move back. Whoops, put the wrong mouthpiece in there. We'll move back to the Olds Studio with the unique wrap and just give you an idea again how that sounds. Great, great song. Great song. I said in one video, Peter Nero wrote that, and a friend of mine inconspicuously mentioned, yes, it was a great song by, and they told me who the correct composer was for that song. Just to give you an idea, we'll try and play something a little bouncier, and the range on this horn not limited to my way of thinking. And F is about my limit. But a very, very nice horn. You can see here, it says studio model, and then it's got F.E. Olds running down, and the last, it says Los Angeles, California. Very, very interesting horn, and, at least for the moment, part of the Olds family in the Milam house. As always, folks, a pleasure to spend time with you. Ooh, 18 minutes. If you go below, you want to hear just the sounds of the horn. I'll have them all set up there. You can just tap on one play, go directly to another. Listen to how the super differs from the recording, from the special, from the studio. Take care of yourself and someone near you.